On April 20th, 2010, there was an explosion on the Deepwater Horizon drilling platform operated by BP Oil. 11 workers were killed, and their bodies were never found. The explosion also started the largest marine oil spill in U.S. history, releasing millions of barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. So how did BP Oil respond to the crisis? BP CEO Tony Hayward tried to downplay the effects of the oil leak. On May 18, 2010, Hayward claimed the environmental effect of the oil spill was very, very modest. But the leak could not be stopped until July, and the well wasn't permanently capped until September. The spill damaged marine and wildlife habitats, along with fishing and tourism industries along the Gulf Coast. The disaster led to protests and boycotts. But that wasn't the only time Hayward misspoke. On May 31, 2010, Hayward made an offhand comment to reporters in reference to those affected by the tragedy. He said, "We're sorry for the massive disruption it's caused their lives. There's no one who wants this over more than I do. I would like my life back." This may seem like a minor offhand comment, but it was widely reported and taken as extremely thoughtless. The 11 people killed were never going to get their lives back. One bad news event can spiral into more bad news and have long-term repercussions. The Gulf oil spill is an extreme example, but bad news comes in all shapes and sizes. You may have heard the expression, "It's business, nothing personal." If you have to deliver bad news, remember this: receiving bad news is always personal. The key to delivering bad news is to manage the response to bad news. Someone has already been hurt or is about to be hurt by the news you will deliver. Nothing you say is going to make them feel better, but you can make a bad situation even worse by saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Never downplay the effect of the bad news on others or complain about its effect on you. Doing so makes you appear selfish and inconsiderate. Remember, you are acting as the representative of the company. Buffer the bad news by empathizing with the person, but be clear about the reasons for the bad news. Provide additional information as needed. For example, why the layoffs are unavoidable, why the insurance claim can't be honored, why that person wasn't chosen for the job. Close on a positive note. Now that's much easier said than done, but the overall goal of delivering bad news is this: to help the person to accept the bad news, to maintain goodwill, and to avoid legal liability. To develop an effective bad news message, you must know the circumstances. If the bad news doesn't rise to the level of tragedy, you do not want to be overly dramatic. Acknowledge the impact on others, but be cautious. An apology could be considered an admission of guilt, and that can create potential legal liabilities. Analyze the rhetorical situation. What has happened? Who does it affect? Does the company need to apologize? Or does it need to manage reaction to an unpopular message? How should the message be delivered? If possible, the bad news should be delivered face-to-face. Be transparent. Share what you know. Be upfront about the situation. Hiding information will make the situation worse. How credible are you in your role of delivering the message? How credible is the organization you represent? Be empathetic. Yes, delivering bad news is a difficult task. Yes, you may be facing a hostile audience, but you must maintain a professional tone no matter what you are feeling. You must project empathy. You want to be calm and collected, but not callous. Be reasonable, but choose your words carefully. The wrong word or phrase can inspire anger and suspicion. And if your credibility is already low, be prepared for your message to be rejected, no matter what you say or how well you say it. How you handle the delivery of bad news will reflect on your character. Think of bad news as a key moment when the reputation of your company can be strengthened if you are transparent, empathetic, and reasonable. Minimize the damage so that you can maintain the goodwill of your stakeholders.